Are you ready? What's my name? What's my name? Say Kareem Ali. Say Kareem Ali. You're listening to
Are you serious?
the Hip Hop Debate Show.
Okay, so hear me out.
The official podcast of Kareem Ali. In about 2 seconds, Kareem Ali will begin to speak. Kareem Ali TV. It's the Are You Serious podcast. We discuss various topics through the lens of hip hop culture. And I just want to introduce some of my guests today. We got Raw the Bliss. Got it right this time? Yes. Victor Raj, did you pick the nigga to be?
Actually, nah, I got it. Hold on.
We picked the nigga to be so I can introduce you. And then we got a special guest, my man Nigel Ali, author, MC, activist, clothing designer. I got to get one of those jackets. I was making a bunch of money a few years ago, and I was about to get a jacket, and then that contract ended. I didn't have that money no more.
I tell you what, and you be perfect for a Barsky out though.
Look, man, I might take 2 jackets of 5. You already what's it called? Name brand.
Yeah.
Check that out on Instagram, everybody. Name brand. It's like some real creative shit that's gotta be making, bro. For real. So today we're gonna be talking about what's been going on lately in hip hop between Jim Jones and Nasir Jones, and we want to discuss just basically, who's the better MC. Does Jim Jones have a point? Does he have the right to say or think that he's as good or in the same class as the great Nasir Jones, the legend, as an MC because it's a competitive sport? Or is Jim Jones just simply trolling? I saw him going off of the Joe Budden's podcast about it, talking about numbers, that when the numbers was presented, he wanted to roll it back. What do you guys think about that? I think I know. But Rod the Bliss, what do you think?
Well, if it's a ploy to get more publicity his way or get the streams going up, it's bad. It's a bad attempt. 2, stop, love. 2, it's it's just common sense. Like, does he have an Illmatic? You know what I'm saying? Does he have a Stillmatic? Does he have it was written? Does he have the the kind of joints that just make people go, okay, yeah, he's like just like one of the most creative MCs ever in this game. Can he make a song like Wine? And the answer is no. So, you said it was it said it was his way to get more streams, going his way to blow him up, and it was just a bad attempt. So,
does Jim Jones have any point at all where he discusses a certain age demographic being more impacted by him? Nigel, what do you think about that? Do you think Jim Jones has any type of point or any leg to stand on when comparing himself to a hip hop juggernaut like Nas?
I mean, you gotta look at it from a lot of ways, man. And I'm saying this as an MC myself, right? And there's gonna be some contradicting stuff with my point. As an MC, you're not gonna say nobody's better than you. You know what I'm saying? You're just not. Now, it's a fine line between respect and all that kind of stuff, but you also got to factor in the fact that they already had issues already. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird with that. Now, as far as the point of like people who are in their 20s, there was a gap in time where Dipset was Dipset. And there's a group of people that are now functioning adults with jobs and riding around and all that. And that's all they know. That was their version, not of Nas, but that was their version of what it is, right? And so it's an argument that nobody wins at all, because Jim can easily say, yo, I got people that know me from 25 to 36 that will not put one of your records on. And Nas can say, yo, I have a whole culture that I've shifted. But he's also an MC. So if I'm currently putting out music, of course I'm gonna feel like I can go toe to toe with anybody. I don't think you work that hard to not go toe to toe. Big L was better than Nas, but Nas wanted to beat Big L. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think, and of course the people that we gotta really compare Nas to aren't here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird way to kind of get to the point of where Jim is coming from and say that he can't say these things. Now, maybe niggas may not like his approach, you know what I'm saying? But he's an MC at the end of the day. That's in the game right now.
Oh, you can't have a real conversation. Okay. But do you think that Jim Jones is fucking with Nas? I'm just gonna say it that way.
Lyrically, come on, man. Nas is a juggernaut. Yo, it's two different types of MCs. Even Jim said he grew up to Nas. You know what I'm saying? So that right there already shows that he's conceding to who Nas is. We all know who Nas is, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was putting the whole context into a versus battle, not Nas writing a rhyme, Jim writing a rhyme over a beat and attacking each other. And that's how people are looking at it. Like, yo, nah, Nas, because Nas has Ether under his belt. Ether is undefeated against everything. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at it from a versus battle of, okay, what song can Nas play? What song can Jim play? You know what I'm saying? Not picking teams on this. And I think hip hop kind of get weird like that because we have like this allegiance to something. Just keep it hip hop. Keep it hip hop and put it on an actual table. And I think you'll start to see where Nas' strengths are and where Jim's weaknesses are, and vice versa, if it was really put on the table. Because there are gaps in Nas's career where he wasn't making music. You know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with who Nas is. And I think that's where people want the conversation to go, because that's an easy one. And Nas is a no-brainer, different kind of godly artist. But in a versus battle, if you got 23-year-olds in that crowd, 27-year-olds in that crowd, Nas is going to play a song that's going to make our face ugly as shit that they will be clueless to, and vice versa. So that's something that I think really should be looked at, and not just saying, yo, Nas is Nas, because that's also true. But in the versus battle, the right song with the wrong beat can sway the audience, or an old song that we appreciate can sway the audience. So it's not as cut and dry when it goes beyond who's the better MC. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ask me, I'm better. Like, what MC gonna say? I mean, I'm like, why are you writing if you're not gonna say you better? You know what I'm saying? Now, being disrespectful is something else. I just think it got very competitive between them two, and then it's up for us to, have this.
So let me ask you this, just a little pushback. So the kid, I agree that there probably is a demographic of kids, and I remember them, who was all on the Dipset stuff. I didn't understand it. What was his biggest record? We Fly High, Ballin'. They loved that shit. That was like 05 or something like that. I never heard anything that he did that I thought anywhere nearly approached anything that Nas has done, in my opinion, even from a numbers standpoint, from sales or anything like that. I do think that there's some young people that may feel that way, but is it because they're just not educated on music, not educated on hip hop? Just because I like Michael Jackson didn't mean I didn't know who James Brown was. If a James Brown came on, I wasn't like, oh, that's trash.
That's like a Michael Jackson, Chris Brown conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will have people that love Michael Jackson forever, but then you also got Chris Brown. It's just a matter of
Chris Brown doesn't even think he's as good as Michael Jackson.
I mean, but that's him being respectful. You know what I'm saying? But as far as impact-wise, no, he's not. Michael Jackson had a Michael Jordan-type impact. Nas had a Michael Jordan-type impact. You know what I'm saying? Jim hasn't had a Michael Jordan-type impact. It's hard to compare yourself to that. You know what I'm saying? On a grand
scale. So therefore, can he even be in the same sentence as Nasir Jones, the godson, as Escobar, Nasty Nas?
I think it's about your palette. I think it's about your song preference and the kind of songs you rock with. And me personally, I'm gonna lean more towards Nas, that's an unfair comparison, because I grew up with Nas's music, the Train track. I was there, like that was a soundtrack for me. You know what I'm saying? By the time Dipset got on the scene, that was also a soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? But it catered more to that demographic. You know what I'm saying? And, there's an age gap and there's a little bit of, wisdom there and all that kind of stuff. But it's it's hard to say, man. When you say, can you put somebody in the same categories? If we talking about rhymes, or we talking about impact? What we talking about?
You picked the nigga to be, and I know that you're chomping at the bits to get on. You just have this look on your face that I know you're
I
about
can't
to,
see his face. I can't see his face at all. I can't see
you
what
got the
going on.
you can't see. He got the sword there, the katana. He
Let me just say,
he is a hip hop purist to the fullest effect. What you say?
right.
The hip hop b-boys, the Latter-day Saints. How do you put it? I'll let you go. You have the floor, sir.
Jim Jones has obviously smoked himself retarded. It's stupid that we're even having this conversation. We should be discussing something more worthy of our brain power, like, I don't know, that new Slick Rick album. Not this. This shouldn't be dominating the hip-hop news cycle. This is ridiculous. This is like Patrick Beverly saying he's better than Michael Jordan.
Damn.
At least Patrick Beverly could put up a decent stat line. Jim Jones had one song that mattered. One song. The Balling song. And when that song was out, I was like, this is trash. How bad their rapping is. They're barely even rhyming coherently. And you're right. There was a whole contingency of people who love Dipset. I appreciated their production. I thought the dudes who were speeding up the soul samples at the time in the line of Just Blaze and Kanye were on to something really innovative at the time. And Dipset took advantage of that sound to the extreme, especially in those diplomatic immunity mixtapes. I remember it. I was there. I was in college at the time. There was a whole Dipset wave. But even then, it was like, okay, this is cool, but why are people acting like it's the best thing since slice hip hop? It's basic. For the most part, Dipset appealed to a demographic of mediocre rap fans. It was the same then as it is now. And what we have to start doing as cultural torchbearers is stop letting mediocre rap fans be involved in hip-hop conversations. Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Now, even when you look at the age demographic thing, Jim Jones not young. And he's like
not 5 years younger than Nas, but looks 10 years older.
Exactly. He clearly has not taken care of himself. He hasn't eaten healthy because he looks like he's 10 years older than Nas.
He's 3 years younger than Nas.
So what young demographic is he appealing to? He looks like my Uncle George, who's 82.
Let me ask you something, bro.
Ridiculous.
Let me ask you something. Because I ain't get on here to do
Let me just say this. If we're talking
get
about
on here to do a bash Jim Jones shit. That's not what I got on here for. You know
Jim
what I'm saying?
Jones ain't got no impact. If we're talking about rhymes versus impact, what impact did Jim Jones have? That one song? That's not impact. There's a whole if we look at it as a versus battle, a song battle, there's a whole litany of Nas songs to one Jim Jones potential song.
No,
and then I would even argue that you could put up Uchi Wally against Ballin' as a better radio single. So we say, he doesn't have an Illmatic. He doesn't have a Nostradamus.
Now you tripping.
All right, Nigel. Go ahead, Nigel.
Now you tripping. Here's the thing. This is the issue I have. First off, that whole mediocre rap fan thing, I'm a Basquiat. I'm an MC, period. I rap. And I'm nice as fuck. Straight up. So let me just make something very clear to you. Because I don't want this to
brother, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the internet trolls who are actually trying to make this.
I know you're not. I don't want this to turn into a bash one or the other, because that's what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'll bash Jim Jones.
People, yeah, and that's crazy.
Because he's whack. He's always been whack to me.
All right, wait. Get your point out, bro.
So I'm not gonna be able to really have a real hip hop conversation if he's always been whack to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not, I don't even know how to even have a conversation with you if he's always been whacked to you, but you acknowledge when the wave came.
I thought he was the fourth best in Dipset.
Well, we already know his story with rhymes, you know what I'm saying? And he even admitted, I was not the rapper in this thing. You know what I'm saying? He even admitted that. And let me just make something very clear. I'm a super Nas fan, by the way. I'm going to go see him perform. I'm a super Nas fan. I'm not. I don't pick sides and pick teams, and because I'm on this team, this guy's shit. That's not a hip hop debate to me. You know what I'm saying? So if he was always whack to you, then there's nothing that nobody can say. I don't want to convince you either, but there's nothing that nobody can say for you to say that Jim is better than anybody. Fuck Nas. You know what I'm saying? We could
people he's better than.
You're not gonna rock with that at all because you already have not liked him for damn near what? A decade?
I never thought it was that good.
It's probably been 20 years now.
I mean, I like Jim Jones better than Boosie.
Liking a rapper is a long time. You know what I'm saying? And when you say balling, he just put out two projects that was pretty nice projects, bro.
What was that? The album he put out, and I guess it was 2021, maybe 2019. That was a really good album. I appreciate that. But it still wasn't legendary, elite level, like as good as any Nas album.
No. Hold on. This is what I was saying, and see, that's the thing, man. It's like the conversation can go so many ways, and that's why I said it's not really going to lean towards nothing. People are forced to pick a side, because you can always say Nas is the GOAT. And you right. Even Jim know Nas is a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But Jim has put music out that's resonating right now with the mediocre rap fans you talking about. Yeah. But if you categorize all those people as that, put them in the versus battle, put 40 of them people in the actual versus battle, and then put 40 old heads also in that battle, and you're going to see where the pendulum will swing. It's not just about us old heads in hip-hop, bro.
So then how come in the Lots versus battle against Dipset, the pendulum obviously swinged in one direction?
I mean, I can answer that.
We had real MCs against mediocre niggas.
I can answer that very clear because they actually said it. You know what I'm saying? First off, it's Jadakiss. Those are three juggernauts, and they was already ready to actually do this thing. They practiced for it and all that. And this is already on record. For a second, this is already on record. You know what I'm saying? That Dipset just wasn't Dipset. And they showed up not like Dipset. They wasn't prepared for that like the Lox was. That's just one point. You know what I'm saying? Now, Dipset is not who they are no more. And it'll probably never be. And that's fucked up for the culture. You know what I'm saying? But we cannot keep putting all this shit, because honestly, after that is when he went on his fucking run. After that battle is when Jim went on his run. You know what I'm saying? Making music for people that want to hear it. And if that's not you, that's not you. You understand? But you can't categorize this whole shit like he's just some washed up, worst rapper in the world. Like he just put out a song that's current right now. It may not be for you, brother. You know what I'm saying? But it's a bunch of 25-year-olds like my son that will put that on before they put on Thesis Theme.
Well, I'm a
Thief thing.
So hold on a second. What is my son then? A mediocre rap fan? Or maybe that's just the person that's popping right now in his life. The same way that Nas was, the same way that Big L was, the same way that all these other people who were the shit until the next thing came. Because Big L was way better than Nas.
I would disagree with that too. I mean,
so let me say.
You said it yourself.
Let me say one or two things.
You said it yourself. It's not a fair comparison.
He's a hip hop connoisseur, and he just said the 1990s Big L was not as good as Nas.
Okay, so
if you break down all the categories, this is a different show. But if you break down all the categories, Big L had one move. Big L had the punchlines and the street talk. Nas had the punchlines and the street talk. He could write quality songs. He could write books. He could also do storytelling. If you compare Illmatic to Lifestyles of the rich and of the poor and dangerous, I'm still taking Illmatic.
I'm telling you,
it was written versus the big picture. I'm still taking it was written. So I don't even think that's an accurate statement.
This is why the conversation can't move with people that pick teams and have this religious allegiance to people, because you're gonna always go to Illmatic. Nothing beats Illmatic, bro. You can just cut on the train tracks for me, and it's over. It's Illmatic, brother. It's Illmatic, brother. But you gotta evolve your thoughts past that, man. Big L is why
Illmatic sense.
Big L is why Nas is Nas. There is no Illmatic without Big L dying, bruh. What you talking about? It ain't no
Illmatic
Jay-Z,
happened before Big L died.
it ain't no Nas without Big L. That's hip hop historians know that. So if you saying that Nas in the 90s, the early 90s, because we can't act like we can't give Nas credit when Big L was dead. That's foul. So when
Illmatic happened while Big L was still alive, and before I would say there's no Big
That's
L.
true. Well, Illmatic came out in
but they're
94. I think
contemporary.
Big L's first album came out in 95.
Yeah,
So,
they're contemporary.
But I will say this. 1 second. Nas did say that he was intimidated by Big L. And that,
yeah, absolutely.
And he said, "This is what I got to compete with. I can't do it." And
Right.
everybody.
So
I would say that
I
Big
don't know.
L made Nas.
I can't say he's a better MC per
but I
se,
wouldn't say
but
it's like a
it's
walk.
close.
Yo,
I
love.
it's a conversation, if nothing else. But it's not Big L was way better than Nas.
I don't think he was way better, but it's a conversation. Nigel, I agree with that. I mean, he's
In the
definitely a
90s.
pantheon.
Talking about, I'm just saying, don't get me wrong, Illmatic will always be Illmatic. We know that, you know what I'm saying? But Big L was a motherfucking problem on the MC side.
Okay.
And see,
Sure.
hold on a second. When I bring up MC part, that's when niggas start talking about all the albums and so people are gonna pick and choose whatever arrangement of things to say to make whoever they batting for sound like that. But when it come to being an actual MC, bar for bar, Big L would have tore Nas' ass up, yo. Because Nas is not that type of rapper. He will get in the booth, he will write and construct some beautiful shit. You understand? And he became Ether. Big L was already Ether. It's a fact.
So hey, let me ask you guys this. Let's go back to the comment about the mediocre hip hop fans and Nigel, you said something about your 25-year-old son. Do you think that there is a measurement of or can you quantify who's better than who based on what? Based on lyricism, even if these kids like Jim Jones better, can't you quantifiably tell that Nas is lyrically better as an MC, as a songwriter? It's like comparing Soulja Boy to Rakim or something like that. I'm not saying Jim Jones to Nas. I'm just saying you can tell that Big Pun and Rakim and KRS-One are way better than some of the artists that people, just because they like them better or they're popular, doesn't make them better.
That's gonna be a little bias for me because I wanted to write like Nas. So when I started writing raps, that was my blueprint. The same way Rakim was Nas' blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my blueprint. Jim was not my blueprint to write rhymes. I was already in my MC bag by then. You know what I'm saying? But Nas raised me. The same way Jim said, yo, I grew up on Nas music. Like, that is an automatic concede right there. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean fucking fall on the ground and curl up and say you can't rap and he better than me. Like what MC does that? No, you're not supposed to.
You definitely have the right to believe. Rod Bliss, you haven't spoken in a while, bro. What's your take on this?
I want to know what the hell we're talking about here. Like, are we talking about who's favoring one over the other, or calling somebody else on their bullshit when they speak bullshit?
No, you are talking about
so
your allegiance to Nas.
I'm not talking about no allegiance to nobody. I will say this. If Jim says, and he did say this, he's more influential than Nas has ever been, is that a lie or is that the truth? Because let's consider the facts. Let's consider the facts.
He did say that, though. He said it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he was like, look at Nas' Billboard entries and look at my Billboard entries. Jim Jones has two Billboard entries. Exactly, two Billboard entries. Right. You know what I'm saying? One for Ball and the other one for Pop Champagne. Mm-hmm. Both of them are like, whatever. Like, my opinion aside of that, it is what it is.
Mediocre, but mediocre.
Put that with 27 of Nas's Billboard entries.
Right.
He lost that right there. Second, who's contributed more to the culture? Because I remember 2 years ago, right? 50th anniversary of hip hop. Nas put together a big 50-year hip hop celebration in Yankee Stadium with legends and new artists from all, you know what I'm saying, from all areas, East, West, South. And everybody paid attention to that. Fast forward to now, where he's ahead of he's been ahead of Mass Appeal, but now he brought out Slick Rick, the Slick Rick album. He's part of bringing out the Slick Rick album. Ghostface is about to drop, Supreme Clientele 2. Raekwon's coming out. Him and Primo, are coming out with a joint. So he did exponentially more, and this is just scratching the surface. He did more for the culture than Jim can ever have. It has nothing to do with my preference, of one over the other. It's just facts.
Let me hear this, bro. Let me say this, bro. I'm not here to debate every last statement that man made on that interview, dog. That's not what I'm here to do, dog. You know what I'm saying? He even corrected himself and said he fucked up when clearly it's a fine line between fucking with the algorithm and trying to get his point across. I appreciate the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Just to know that people of that caliber are still talking about it. They still got that dog in them. They still willing to say they number one. I appreciate that as an MC. I don't know if you're an MC or not. You know what I'm saying? But I'm an MC. I'm an MC. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 46 years old. I ain't no young dude. You know what I mean? So when I look at hip hop, I don't see it from, oh man, he's better than that. I like the fact that the culture is doing what we doing right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna bash Jim. I'm not gonna bash Nas, because they both equally were the soundtrack to my shit and your shit at one point in time. And that's enough to give him that. And it's just kind of funny to me, like, we so quick to call these people trash. You know what I'm saying? When he had a whole culture trying to dress like him. Like, that's also
That's a good point. He did have a movement there to dress.
That's also called moving the culture. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to, and I'm not saying that he's compared to, Nas raised me, man. Like, I'm not going to compare that to what Jim is doing. You know what I'm saying? But to completely wipe out this man's history like he don't have it, I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't agree with something he did, that's cool. If you don't like his music, that's great. But you can't just act like the nigga's a shit stain in hip hop. That's crazy. I don't respect that. You know, you can pick somebody. I promise you, you can pick somebody else that's a real shit stain. You can. You understand? And the fact that he is even in the topic of discussion was long before he did this whole thing with Nas. The nigga is outside making noise. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not campaigning for either or. You know what I'm saying? But you got to respect the work of an MC at that age that's still doing it. That's hard to do. His whole class, where that whole class at? It's a whole class of super nice, almost legendary MCs in that class. You got your Fabs. It's so many nice niggas, that whole Griselda movement. RJ Payne. It's a lot of dope shit out there still. So to still be making music at this age, and we here now talking about this now, that's very successful to me, bro. That's very successful to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not talking about a lot of rappers that once had a summer or a dope-ass album or had our attention. They gone. You know what I'm saying? So
you talk about when you're out of here.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? So it's like, to just act like this man did nothing because he compared himself to the GOAT is crazy. Because if I compare myself to a GOAT, I'm crazy. But in order to get there, that's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. I got to come for the top spot.
With all due respect, Jim Jones did do, he didn't do absolutely nothing, in hip hop at all. Like, nobody's saying that. It's just that he has not done half of what Nas has done. And when we're talking about, like, putting out projects, I mean, this man also put out 6 projects in 3 years recently.
His best
what I'm
work.
saying? The King's Disease, 1, 2, 3, Power, 1, 2, 3. I mean, not Power, but Magic, 1, 2, and 3.
The last
he won a
3
Grammy for one. He won a Grammy for the first King's Disease.
The last 3 years, Nas put out his best work in the last probably 7. Real talk.
Okay. Well, given that,
no, that's important.
It is important because what would give Jim the right to say that he's more influential than him?
I mean, I would say this.
Because for real, like, I could say that I'm more influential than Nas when it's just Kareem Ali, who's been, like, bumping my mixtapes since fucking 07 and shit. I'd be looked at as a shit scene if I said that. If you come across that way, that's how people are going to see you.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I think he knew that. to me, that's where it gets to the trolling part. Like, he know exactly what he's doing. He fucking with the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, because we're talking about this shit now. You know what I'm saying? But he's actually also a specific artist for a specific demographic. My son is a part of that demographic, bro. We can't take that from him. It's a lot of 25-year-olds in the world, fam. It's a lot of them.
Guys, we got about 1 minute. Yeah. Slangston, I'm gonna let you go ahead and with your finishing thoughts.
I don't think there's anything wrong with mediocre rap fans or mediocre rap music. I just think it's two different discussions, two different conversations, and one should not mix with the other. Like Nigel said, it's not a fair comparison. The issue at hand is that Jim Jones made the comparison himself. Therefore, it opens up the conversation and it opens up his comments for scrutiny. And it's not a fair comparison. Some people spit ether, apparently. Other people smoke ether because it's not even close. Patrick Beverley had a great NBA career. Nobody thought Patrick Beverley would do what Patrick Beverley did. He reached the zenith of what Patrick Beverley was capable of. So did Jim Jones. Jim Jones had a very quality rap career. But when you start comparing hip-hop legends and giants, he's not in that conversation. So when he entered himself into that conversation, the scrutiny is fair. It's fair. That's all. I'm just looking at the facts. We compare albums. We compare impact. We compare rhymes. We compare cultural influence.
So I have to stand here today as what I was when I was born, a black man.
Your racism bounces off me, I'm bulletproof. Your prejudice gets deflected, I'm bulletproof. Your hatred can't penetrate me, I'm bulletproof. Our minds can't be shackled no more, nah, we know the truth. Yeah, from the spot that Malcolm stood, looking out through the window, I'm looking out over my hood, and all I see is the shit show run by a bunch of